Those of you who have been following my channel for some time, who've subscribed, and if you haven't, why not subscribe now, will have noticed that about, I think it was 3 months ago, I did a video outlining my reasons for selling my Leica M10. If you haven't seen that video, by all means, drop back. As I said, it was about 3 months ago, I think. And basically, to sum it all up, it was that I had seen the Emperor had got no clothes on. um, well, those of you with a keen eye might notice something off to this side that tells you that I've actually changed my mind on that. Welcome to my new Leica M10. So the video I did 3 months ago was genuine. It wasn't done to get likes or shares or views or anything else. I've had the Leica M10 for over a year, and bear in mind who I am. I'm a wedding photographer. I've done that for 10 years. I've done over 300 weddings. I'm used to picking something like this beast up. This is my D500, which I still use. It's actually still pretty much my favourite wedding camera. It just does the job. It's just simple as that. My life as a wedding photographer means I'm standing there. I've found a place to stand where I've got good light, where if something happens, I can get a good shot, a good moment, and something happens and click, done. Now I wait for the next one, and that kind of is my life as a wedding photographer. And it was with that approach that I couldn't help. I didn't realise I was doing it. I couldn't help but have that approach when I used the M10. And of course that doesn't work for the M10. The Leica M range of cameras force you to slow down. And I saw that as a bad thing because of my background. I wanted to see something and take a shot. The Leica doesn't do that. Well, it can, but it's not really what it's good at. So I saw that as an obstacle between me and getting a photo. Hence my video 3 months ago, sold a Leica. However, I then replaced the Leica with a Sony A7C-R because I thought, well, maybe I should go to the Leica Q3 because I do love Leica, but maybe I should try something with autofocus. That's going to be quicker to use, more akin to what I'm used to. But I don't like the fact that the Q3 43 and it's either got a 28mm lens or a 43mm lens, and that's it. You'll start with it. I don't like that idea. I've had a Fujifilm X100 something or other, T I think it was, with a fixed lens, and it's great for a while, but I do find that there are occasions when you want to put a different lens on. Can't do it, obviously. So I thought, what's around that's close to that? And I got a Sony A7C-R, 60 megapixels, which is the same as the Q3. Put a 35 1.4 lens on it and used that for a few weeks, thinking that would give me the same photos, the same experience as I had with the Leica. And it didn't. It didn't come anywhere close. It's a nice camera, but it's not a Leica. And the viewfinder on the A7C cameras, I tried an A7C2 as well. I didn't buy it, but I just tried it out in the shop. Suffer from this viewfinder, which is about that big, and which, unless you get the camera in exactly the right place, you can't even see through the viewfinder, and it's pretty low resolution. It just really spoiled the experience of using that camera. So that wasn't going to be the camera for me, so that went. I thought about getting another Fuji X Pro 2 because I've had one of those in the past. Anyway, long story, it didn't get. Anyway, it led me to going back and rethinking through my decision to get rid of the Leica M10. I also looked at some of the photos, I'll show you some shortly, from the M10. And when I compared the Leica photos that I'd taken, not of weddings, of my personal stuff, I can't put my finger on what it is, but the photos that were done with the Leica just seem to be more artistic, more creative. And I got to thinking, well, maybe that's just not the technicalities of the camera. Maybe it's simply the way it feels, the way it makes you work, the way it makes you look at things, actually forces you to be more artistic, more creative, rather than with DSLR or any other sort of mirrorless camera. And I gradually, over a few weeks, got back into the idea of I probably got to get another M10. I did think about the M11 from the Sony experience, which was 60 megapixels. I'm not a huge fan of 60 megapixels. Even the D850 and that kind of thing at 45, certainly for weddings. I had a D850 and in fact I didn't like it. I didn't like the noise, the size, the weight. And so I'm not a huge fan of anything more than 25, 30 megapixels is plenty. I've taken photos with my D700 and printed them at 20 by 16 of a tree in the middle of winter, and you get close and you can see every little twig, and this is with a D700 at 12 megapixels. So I'm not a super fan of high resolution cameras. So the M10 for me ticked all the boxes, didn't want to get anything else, so I got another M10. So here it is. I have to say it's way better than my previous M10. My previous M10 came in a like a shoebox, wrapped in newspaper and this sort of thing. It was the camera was okay. There was nothing wrong with it, but it's just the presentation. This is it is basically a new camera, with the box, and even the box is a work of art. I mean, it's got a flip out lid with the camera there. It's got a magnetic catch. It's got pull out drawers, and oh, it's just, it sums up what Leica is all about. And fortunately, I've still got my EVF, the Visoflex viewfinder. I still had a lens, my screw-in diopter. I think it's 1.5 times magnification because I wear glasses. Still had that. It came with a stick-on, which was already stuck on, thumb grip, which is absolutely gorgeous. It's called a thumbie. It really does make this a one-handed camera. Not that you can manually focus with the same hand, so it's still a two-handed camera, but anyway, it's much nicer to hold. Even my little red button I had there. So I've got all the stuff. Oh, and a screen protector. I even had the spare screen protector. So we're back up and working with the M10. And went out yesterday. It arrived yesterday morning, so went out yesterday, took some shots, which I'll show you shortly, because I hate those videos that are just about the camera and about unboxing and showing you the box as I've just done. Let's get on to some shots. And in future videos, I'll talk a lot more about the actual camera, about using it. If you're thinking of getting a Leica, I'll cover why, its good points, its bad points, kind of a review from my point of view as someone who's obviously struggled a little bit to come to terms with the photographer that a Leica M camera forces you to be, and how that's actually a good thing. So I'll leave it there. Let's have a look at a few photos and watch out for my next video about Leica, using it, the experience. We'll go out and do some shots, and have a good day. Cheers for now. So not really an awful lot to say about these photos. I just grabbed the camera when it first arrived yesterday, and just went out and did some shots. Fortunately, the sun came out for about 3 or 4 minutes, and the rest of the time it was pretty cloudy, and actually tried to rain a couple of times. But this was, as I say, about 90 seconds when the sun was out, in the middle of Bury St Edmunds, and just saw that shot and thought that was interesting. And moving on, this is the centre of Bury St Edmunds. As you walk into it, I kind of like photos that have lots of layers. So we've got, very close foreground, we've got some sort of centre ground here, and we've got background, the sky obviously. I like those. I like photos where I'm led into the photos. That's one of my sort of likes for photos. I also like pretty abstract photos, and this I think fits the abstract bill. Reflection in a window, all sorts of stuff happening. Not a fantastic shot, but there you go. As I say, it was only a quick trip out to my local town, nothing particularly special. Really, really abstract, shine in the shop window. Then this was more interesting. We've got a cathedral in Bury St Edmunds, and I've taken lots and lots of shots there. But did this shot to actually see what it's like at high ISO, just to show you. This was actually 16,000 ISO, which is the limit I've set on the auto ISO for the M10. And if we can, how do I zoom in on this? Oh, there we go. I've done, honestly, I've done no noise reduction whatsoever on this, and I think for 16,000 ISO, that's not too bad. And in fact, that's not just as it was shot. I did have to brighten up this centre area because it was a little bit too much in shadow. So, and if you've got a high ISO photograph and you increase the the brightness, it's going to make the noise a lot worse. So I'm very happy with that. That's not a problem at all. And if we look at something that's less, where I didn't increase the exposure, which would be up here. I mean, it's noise, but it's different to many cameras that I've used in the past. This truly, to me anyway, it's a long time since I've done much in the way of film photography, but this is much more looks like film grain rather than noise. It's not unpleasant, I don't think, at all. So very happy with that, and not many more. Another pretty abstract shot, just kind of to get the colours. Again, almost no editing whatsoever on this, and yeah, there we go. This one I liked. I was walking back to the car park. I literally just turned around and looked behind me, and saw this shot. I thought, yeah, I can see that working in black and white. Very dark down here. The as you can see, the sun was trying to come through the really thick clouds, but it wasn't making much of a job of it. Some nice shadows around here, and I just thought that'd make a nice black and white shot. And that's it. So I think I took about probably 20 shots while I was out for about an hour, and there is a very quick selection. So in future videos I will be doing a lot more in depth. We'll talk about the camera, we'll do some maybe behind the scenes when I'm actually out. In the meantime, thank you for watching. Cheers for now.